Do your grip socks come with ACC? Do they look like they come with ACC? I feel like the answer is obvious. Available now at puregripsocks.com. Link in the description. After several months, we're finally back with a new Q&A. A lot of you have been requesting more Q&A videos. I apologize for kind of taking a break from them, but if you guys do enjoy this series and want to see it continue on a more regular basis, please support this video with a like. That lets me know that you want to see more. Also, unlike previous Q&A videos where I've pulled all of the questions from my Instagram, which is SR4U_Josh, from now on, I'm going to pull questions from the previous Q&A video comment section on YouTube. So if you have a question that you'd like me to answer in the next Q&A episode, please leave it down below in the comments of this video. If you could also hit that subscribe button along with the little bell notification to get notified for my next upload, that would be amazing. And with all that said, let's get right into it. Oh, my hair seems extra fluffy today. If you could make a Frankenstein boot using only one part of one boot per brand, what would it be? I want to say that I answered this question about a year ago, but pretty much everything has changed since then, so I'll do my best to answer it again. I think as far as a sole plate is concerned, I'm taking the one from the X Ghosted series with the Carbitex carbon fiber insert through the forefoot. That I think is phenomenal. From there, I think I'm going to take the Mercurial stud pattern. I just feel like it's the best of the best as far as outright traction is concerned, at least the FG version. And then as far as an upper is concerned, I'm going to take the upper from the most recent Mizuno Morelia Ultralight in white and gold especially. I think that upper feels phenomenal. It is the softest kangaroo leather I've ever felt on a football boot. And I'd like to incorporate some kind of reinforcement element. I'd maybe take some of the lining tech from the current Mercurial and incorporate it into bits of that kangaroo leather upper just to add a little bit of structure without taking away any of the softness, or at least as little as possible. I would then slap on some SR4U laces from SR4ULaces.com and of course pair them up with some Pure Grip socks available at puregripsocks.com. I think that would pretty much be the ultimate football boot, at least for me. Hey Joshua, who's that? Can you make a whole clothing line on Pure, like making hoodies, etc.? I've actually gotten a lot of requests over the last 4 or 5 months regarding Pure branded hoodies and t-shirts and training shorts and stuff like that, apparel in general. And I'll be honest in saying that it's not something that I've genuinely put a lot of thought into at this point, but I guess here's your chance to speak up. If that's something that you guys would like to see from the Pure brand, please let me know down below in the comments and let me know specifically what you'd like to see. Of course, if this is something that I did decide to do in the future, it would follow kind of the same mantra of the brand as it is right now, where I would only offer you guys a really good quality hoodie or a really good quality t-shirt or training shorts, whatever it may be, as long as I can maintain an affordable price. Because the last thing that I want to do is put out a hoodie that costs $50 just because it has a Pure logo. That's a complete ripoff. I don't want to do the same thing that big brands are doing. If I can't make it good quality but also affordable, it's not something that I'm really interested in. But let me know what you guys would like to see specifically, and I'll do my best. I'll start working on it and try to make it happen if there's enough interest. Best boot you can buy right now. I would probably go for a pair of Mizunos. What is your opinion on people who wear a different boot on each foot? I can't say that it's something that I've ever done in a match or even in a proper training session for that matter. On my own, when I'm testing out new boots, sometimes I'll mismatch them just to get a little bit more of a true comparison between the two. But every time that I've done that, and I don't do it very often, it just feels very weird to me. I think if you're somebody that genuinely doesn't think about your boots at all when you're playing, which in a perfect world, I think that's how everybody should play. But in my head, I just know that something about football boots is almost always on my mind while I'm playing. So to have two that are mismatched, I understand the logic if you're, I guess, really dominant with one foot and you want that foot to feel a certain way and you want something else on your weaker foot. Maybe that makes some kind of sense. But in general, I just don't see a lot of logic behind it, but I also don't think that it's going to have a major hindrance on performance, meaning that it won't necessarily make you worse. If you have two pairs of boots that you can mismatch, it's absolutely free to try out and I guess see how you like it. But in general, I don't think there's really any true performance benefit from it. I kind of think you're just maybe overthinking things. Also, there are people that have the same boot in 2 different colors that they want to mismatch. If that's your thing and you like how that looks, by all means, be my guest and wear it. But for me personally, I've just never been a huge fan of the mismatch boot look. Hey Jones Phil, why don't Mizuno lower their prices? It seems like people know how high quality their boots are at this point, but still can't justify paying that much. This is a really tricky question to answer, but I'm going to do my best because I think in order to understand why the price of a made in Japan Mizuno product is so high, ultimately comes down to understanding the way that they're made, as well as where they're made, as well as the types of materials Mizuno tends to use on their made in Japan products, where you look at a Nike, Adidas, a Puma, pretty much every other football brand, if we're being honest, and the craftsmanship and the quality standards and the materials used simply are not on the same level. And all of that stuff costs a lot of money. Mizuno is not a brand that's going out and spending a ton on marketing. They are instead investing all of their efforts in the quality and craftsmanship of their product. And I think that is why myself, guys like J Mike from Unisport, and a lot of, I guess, I don't want to say hardcore boot enthusiasts, but people that have tried a significant amount of football boots, why there's so many people in that group that are so diehard fans of the Mizuno brand, is because if you've tried pretty much everything, Mizuno really does stand out as being kind of the pinnacle of what is possible from a quality standpoint on a pair of football boots. So I don't know what their margins are on a product. Obviously, made in Japan Mizuno boots are some of the most expensive ones at retail versus anything else on the market, including what you're going to get from the really big brands. But I just think that they're charging what they need to charge in order for those products to continue to exist. While Mizuno is not a small company, when it comes to their football boot sales globally, they are nowhere near a brand like Nike, Adidas, or Puma. So the amount of boots that they're selling and making is on a much smaller scale, which of course is going to up the cost, especially given the quality standards that they go for with their made in Japan product. It's the reason why they stress the fact that they're made in Japan. The difference is truly significant. So I wish they were cheaper. I hope that they can be cheaper one day, but for the time being, I've said it before and I'll say it again, with made in Japan Mizuno products, you genuinely do get what you pay for. OG Hypervenom Phantom 1 or current generation Phantom GT? This is a tricky question because I think objectively the Phantom GT is the better football boot, but in terms of the feel aspect of a football boot, which I think is very often overlooked, especially in the age of knitted and synthetic upper materials, the feel from the Nike Skin upper on that OG Phantom 1, despite its shortcomings when it comes to responsiveness and even lockdown, especially once that upper stretched, it wasn't that great in regards to objective performance characteristics, but the feel and the comfort and the touch on the ball was so pure, was so natural, and so unlike any other synthetic football boot that I think we've seen from the Phantom 1. There's really never been anything that has truly replicated that feel. If I had to pick between those and the current Phantom GT, I'd pick the OG Hypervenoms, but I'd be curious to hear your opinions on that down below in the comments. If you were a young athlete starting up, what football boot brand would you choose to be sponsored by? I get this question a lot and I've avoided it over the years because I've always felt pressure to never suggest that I liked one brand more than another, but at this point I really feel like you guys understand that the way that I review product is purely based on objectivity. I don't really care if you buy one brand or another. I just want to tell you what's good and bad. So if I'm answering this from a young athlete's perspective, young Josh here, I think when I was 12 years old or younger, I probably would say Adidas because I was really into the Predator series. From 12 years old and up, kind of young adult years, let's say 18 years old, I definitely would have said Nike because I was really into Mercurials. And I think there's a few different schools of thought in terms of how you would go about picking which boot brand you wanted to be endorsed by as a young professional footballer. And I understand the logic of maybe trying to partner with a smaller brand and creating a name for yourself and being the face of an entire brand or a specific football boot, which realistically you might be able to do if you signed with somebody like a New Balance or an Under Armour or one of these kind of lesser known or less popular companies in the football boot industry. But if I'm being 100% honest, adult Josh talking here, I love the Mizuno brand. I still like Nike. I think being sponsored by Adidas or Puma, really any brand would be super cool. But if I were a professional footballer right now with no endorsement deal, the brand that I would sign with is the brand that paid me the most money. I'll be completely honest with you guys, and I feel like that is what 99% of professional footballers do. A boot you surprisingly liked. I feel like you worded this question this way just so I would say a boot. I think most recently, a few Adidas takedown models have really surprised me, like the Copa Sense Point 2 as well as the Predator Freak Point 2. I thought both of those models were way better than I was expecting to be, especially the Copas. And then another boot, and again, I hate to talk about Mizuno so much in one Q&A video, but the Made in Japan Morelia 2. I had yet to try the new Morelia 2 variant with the slightly thinner leather and the no fold over flap tongue and all the other very subtle modifications that they made to the boot. You look at it and you think they didn't really change all that much, but that boot feels phenomenal. It's one of those products that is truly refined to the max. There's absolutely nothing else that they could change about it other than maybe the laces that are still unnecessarily wide and cottony and just kind of just gross. I don't like them at all. I don't know why they still use those laces on all of their products, but other than that, the Morelia 2, the Made in Japan model, is a really impressive pair of football boots. And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes this Q&A video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to support it with a like. And don't forget, if you have an interesting and or weird football boot related question that you'd like me to potentially answer in the next episode, please leave it down below in the comment section. If you're not following me on other forms of social media outside of YouTube, all of those will be linked down below in the description, so be sure to check that out. And once again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, it would mean a lot to me if you could hit that subscribe button along with the little bell notification so you get notified when the next new video goes live. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.